You're not exhausted because you've been working too hard. You're exhausted because you've been working in the wrong direction. Every day, you wake up with this pressure to do something meaningful, so you stay busy. You check tasks off, you push through hours, and yet when the day ends, there's this quiet frustration sitting in your chest, because deep down, you know nothing really changed. Your income didn't move, your skills didn't level up, your life didn't shift. And that's not bad luck, that's not a lack of effort. That's a lack of clarity. You've been told your whole life to work harder, to grind more, to stay consistent, but no one told you that effort without direction is just wasted energy. It's like running full speed in the dark. You feel productive, but you're going nowhere. And the reason is simple. You don't actually know what you want. Not clearly. Not specifically. You say you want success, but what does that mean? More money? How much more? Freedom? From what exactly? A better life? What does that look like in detail? You've never forced yourself to answer these questions, so your brain stays confused. And when your brain is confused, it chooses comfort. That's why you keep going back to distractions, back to easy habits, back to things that don't move your life forward. It's not because you're lazy, it's because you're unclear. And clarity is everything. Without it, your effort turns into noise. You can work 12 hours a day and still be stuck in the same place, because effort without direction is just motion without progress. Now look at people who are actually winning. They're not always smarter than you. They're not always more talented, but they are clear. They know exactly what they're chasing. And because of that, every decision becomes easier. They don't waste time thinking about what to do next. They don't burn energy guessing. They move with precision, and that's the difference between staying average and actually progressing. Right now, you're active, but you're not effective. You're moving, but you're not advancing, and you feel it. Especially at night, when everything goes quiet and you're left alone with your thoughts. That voice hits you. I did a lot today, but did I really get closer to anything? That feeling is real, and you've been ignoring it. You keep telling yourself you'll figure things out later, that clarity will come with time, but it won't. Clarity doesn't come by waiting. It comes by deciding. You don't find your path, you choose it. And that's uncomfortable, because the moment you choose one thing, you eliminate everything else. No more hiding behind confusion, no more pretending you're figuring it out. Now it's real. Now there's a target. Now there's pressure. And that scares you, so you stay vague. Because vague goals protect your ego. If you say, I want more money, you can never fail. Because there's no clear finish line. But the moment you say, I'm going to make $10,000 a month within the next 6 months, now it's real. Now you can win, or you can lose. Now you're exposed. And that's exactly why you avoid clarity. Not because you don't understand it, but because you're afraid of what it demands from you. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. Staying unclear is costing you your life, one day at a time. At some point, you have to stop lying to yourself, because every extra day you stay unclear, you're burning time you'll never get back. You can recover money, you can rebuild your health, but you cannot rewind your life. And the truth is, you already feel it slipping. You feel it when weeks turn into months and nothing meaningful has changed. That's not a motivation problem. That's a direction problem. So now the question becomes simple and uncomfortable. What exactly do you want? Not in vague words, not in safe answers, but in precise, measurable terms. Because the moment you get specific, everything starts to shift. Your brain finally has a target. It stops wandering. It starts focusing. It begins filtering your choices automatically. Suddenly, the things that used to distract you start to feel like a waste of time because they don't match where you're going. That's the power of clarity. It simplifies your life. It cuts out the noise. It forces you to prioritize. But here's where most people fail. They stop at thinking. They write goals down. They feel a temporary rush of motivation, and then they go right back to their old habits. Nothing changes because clarity without action is just another form of comfort. You can't think your way into a different life. You have to act your way into it. And that's where discipline comes in. Not motivation, not inspiration, discipline. Because motivation fades the moment things get hard, and they will get hard. If your goal is to build real income through trading or crypto, you're going to face losses, confusion, self-doubt, and long hours of learning things that don't make sense at first. If your goal is to build a high-value skill, you're going to fail repeatedly. You're going to feel slow, and you're going to question whether you're even improving. If your goal is to change your body, you're going to feel discomfort, fatigue, and resistance almost every day. This is the reality you can't avoid, and if you expect it to feel good, you're going to quit. That's why discipline matters, because discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up when your mood doesn't. Discipline keeps moving when progress is slow. Discipline stays when everything in you wants to stop. And this is where your identity begins to change. At first, it feels forced. You have to push yourself. You have to fight your old habits. But if you stay consistent, something powerful starts to happen. The same actions that once felt heavy begin to feel normal. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making excuses. You just execute. That's when you're no longer trying. You're becoming. And understand this clearly. Success is not about adding something new to your life. It's about removing the version of you that's holding you back. The version that wastes time, avoids discomfort, and stays lost in confusion. That version has to go. And it doesn't disappear overnight. It fades every time you choose discipline over distraction. Every time you follow your plan instead of your emotions. Every time you do what needs to be done instead of what feels easy. This is how identity is rebuilt. One decision at a time. And this is where everything separates. Because most people never stay long enough to see who they could become. They start with energy. They make plans. They feel motivated for a few days. And then reality hits. It gets repetitive. It gets uncomfortable. Results don't show up fast enough, and they quit. Not because they can't succeed, but because they can't stay consistent. That's the real barrier. Not lack of talent, not lack of opportunity, lack of consistency. And consistency is built on identity. Because when you truly decide who you are, your actions follow automatically. If you still see yourself as someone who is trying, you'll act like it. Inconsistent, distracted, easily pulled off track. But when you decide with clarity that you are someone who executes daily toward a specific goal, everything shifts. You stop negotiating. You stop asking yourself if you feel like it. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You just move. Every day becomes intentional. Every action becomes aligned. And that's when you become dangerous, because now you're consistent, and consistency compounds faster than anything else in your life. It doesn't look dramatic in the beginning. There's no applause, no recognition, no instant reward. It's quiet. It's repetitive. It's often uncomfortable. But that's exactly why it works. Because while everyone else is chasing shortcuts, you're building something real. While everyone else is distracted, you're focused. While everyone else is stopping, you're continuing. And over time, that gap becomes impossible to ignore. This is how people become unrecognizable. Not through one big moment, but through hundreds of small, disciplined decisions that no one sees. So stop looking for the easy way. It doesn't exist. Stop waiting to feel ready. You won't. Stop telling yourself you need more time, more information, more confidence. You don't. You need to decide. You need to commit. You need to act. Right now, you already know what you should be doing. You've been avoiding it. You've been delaying it. You've been distracting yourself from it. But the truth hasn't changed. The only thing left is whether you're going to face it or keep running. Because every day you delay, your life stays the same. Every day you hesitate, someone else moves forward. Every day you stay comfortable, you move further away from the person you could become. So ask yourself one final question and answer it honestly. Are you actually committed, or are you just interested? Because if you're interested, you'll keep doing what's easy. You'll keep stopping when it gets hard. You'll keep living the same cycle. But if you're committed, you'll do whatever it takes. You'll show up when it's uncomfortable. You'll keep going when it's slow. You'll stay locked in when others quit. That's the difference. That's the line that separates average from exceptional. And right now, you're standing on that line. So make the decision. Define your goal with precision. Set your timeline. Build your plan. And then prove it. Not with words, not with intentions, but with your actions. Today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Because your future is not built on what you think. It's built on what you do, repeatedly. And if you're serious about changing your life, then this is the moment. No more confusion, no more excuses, no more wasted time. Decide, act, become.